story once spoken is ageless. The dungeon imagined without end. The curious are the ones most courageous. The tree that endures has to bend. From stillness the mad mage is stirring. From countless voices the castle takes shape. Zagig will test the enduring. Those unlucky will never escape.
Trollord Games. Join the fray.
Interestingly, it's not killing the...
And there we are. Are we live on the yeah.
No, we're good.
Yeah, I was like, what?
I was just messing with you.
Well, thank you so much. You're so kind.
Thought you needed a little bit more chaos in your life. How's everybody doing? Today it is December 10th, 2024. I am CEO of Trollord Games, here to do the weekly Ask Me Anything thread. And this thing is pissing me off because I can see the thing or whatever on my glasses. I don't know. My wife came down here and changed all my settings. And now it's chaos.
She's ruined it.
She ruined it all. She ruined it. She had some kind of, I don't know, some kind of important meeting or something that she needed a quiet office. So how is everybody doing this afternoon? It is a Trollord day. It is Tuesday. Great progress has been made on many books, but great frustrations have arisen. So, as is usual here. Just to check, there's no music playing or the like, right? There is no music playing, no. But I think my turntable, my record player back there is, I think it's still on. There's no actual music on there right now. Is Jean-Michel Jarre's Oxygen from the 1980s. I have listened to, started the day with some Pink Floyd. That didn't do it. So I listened to the soundtrack for Mad Max Fury Road. That didn't do it either. Switched to the soundtrack for The Witch. That didn't do it. Tried some Waylon Jennings. That didn't do it. And I've ended up on Oxygen back there. So we'll see where I go tonight. It's going to be a long haul. I got some margin issues that I need to fix in the Adventurer's Armory. Peter said he would fix them, but he's got art to do for the Beneath the Canopy Green, so I'm going to slip down here about 9 o'clock tonight and move some stuff around. Me too, Alexandria. We've got so many new books coming out. The Hermit, the first several hundred of the Hermits already went out. We'll get another 200 out tomorrow. We ran out of 2-inch boxes almost immediately. Dakota, in doing his inventory, counted the 3-inch boxes for the 2-inch boxes, and he thought he had more than he had. Blah 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 blah. So those should keep rolling out. And tomorrow, the first of the Castles and Crusades Reforged books should start rolling out too. I will be bothering Chuck about that very soon to start getting me addresses or getting Dakota addresses. I don't have anything to do with it. But he's wrestling with his own demons in the store. This WooCommerce store is not making the trolls happy.
No, I'll be honest with you. Poor Monica thought I was going to break down today. I was yelling and shit, dude. That was bad. I'm just so tired of it. You know, it's like
it's everywhere too. I mean, I don't know what is going on in Photoshop, but the new update, it's got it when you choose a layer, it doesn't highlight the layer. Only if you hold your mouse over it. Where before
Oh
it was
my
highlighted,
God,
so
I've
you
not.
know which layer was
Great.
chosen. And maybe it's in a setting. I need to go turn something on, but I'm about to switch to Infinity and call it a good day. Malaki says, why was there a tweet slot, a parody account of the RPG Pundit retweeted by TLG? I don't know what that question means.
Well, some of it I do. A parody account is when somebody, like, they got the guy on there that imitates Elon all the time and Trump. Those are parody accounts.
Okay.
So probably Davis or someone saw it and didn't pay attention that it was a parody and thought it was somebody else, and that's probably all it was. I don't know. I don't think they put a lot of thought into it. They just click buttons. I don't know, man.
Yeah. I'm sure Davis sure shouldn't have.
Yeah, Davis is he's whatever. So,
Wolf Alone, you should absolutely order pizza. I wanted a pizza for lunch today, and I did not have one, and I wanted a pizza for dinner tonight, and I am not going to have one. So you should order a pizza and eat it, and just think of me. Well, don't think of me, but you know what I mean. I'll think of you.
Oh, that's wonderful, Alexa. Oh my God, I can't believe I'm so tired. I can't even pronounce your name. Alexandria. I sent them. It's a library. It travels to different conventions, and I sent them a whole set of our stuff to display in their library.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it's very cool.
I hope they are too. PDF going out tomorrow. It should be, Chuck.
Yes, it was supposed to go out today. I just put a apology letter in Discord because I was so happy. I was in such a good roll. I was rolling right along, man. And then,
Thank you, Keith, the Gamer Geek. I want some pizza.
I ate some yesterday. Does that count?
You bastards.
Well, the grandbaby was eating pizza, and I went and stole a piece. So.
There you go.
Let's see. Yeah, Davis being Davis. That's what I told the peeps in the basic. Yeah, y'all should never read into any of our public posts. We're working, man.
Our X, whatever it is. Davis runs that over there. Now Grace does a lot of the posting on X, but Davis does 80% of it. And he just, whatever catches his eye. It's what I actually love about our X feed, because it's always something different. And I get bored with the same old stuff over and over again. And Davis has always got something just, freaking weird out there. I highly recommend TLG's TikTok page of stories and feeling great. We got some more of those coming. That was pretty cool. Grace got that up pretty fast yesterday.
Oh, nice. I didn't know you had done any. It's good.
Yeah, she did. She did the first one. Who's that guy? Beeper, Blipper, or what? One of the Muppet guys. The little thin scientist guy. I think. Yeah, go to the Twitter.
Yeah, I don't know his name.
Yeah. Yeah, those stories. Those are always interesting. Beaker. Yes, thank you. I knew it was somebody. I never watched the Muppet, so I can't ever remember all the characters. Question for you, Chuck.
Yeah, Savage. I saw your message, and then of course promptly moved on and didn't reply. Do me a favor, drop your address stuff in there for me in that message to me, and I'll get it over to shipping, and they'll get it sent out to you. They'll bug Steve for a signature, and then it'll be on your way, buddy. Oh, actually, you got the anniversary copy. It's already signed, so yeah.
Unsubscribe. Yeah, it's funny. I think that, of course, now I'm not sure when the Muppets came out. I think they came out mid-'80s. I really do. So here's a quick brief history of my TV. So my dad was in the service. So we lived at Fort Leavenworth, then Fort Campbell, and we had the 5 stations up until 1980 when we moved to Germany. Now, when we moved to Germany, we lived in Heidelberg for 3 years. We had one station, AFTN. That's what we got. That's what we watched. So if it was not on AFTN between 1980 and 1983, I did not watch it. And then when we got back stateside, cable had become a thing. I actually remember being in Germany when people that were being deployed were being stationed, not deployed, but stationed in Germany. I'd meet new kids or whatever, and they'd be like, there's this new thing called cable. And I had no idea what the bloody hell they were talking about. So we didn't actually get cable TV until 1983. And then I'm at home for the next 2 years. That's my junior and senior years. And then I'm off and on my own. And I didn't have I didn't have any money. And my mom and dad certainly weren't going to give me any money for cable. So I didn't have any TV. I bought this. I had this old TV from 1985 to 1990 that had rabbit ears on the top of it. And I got a Betamax at first. I took it from my dad because he was going to throw it away. And I had like 4 Betamax tapes, but then you couldn't rent any Betamax. And then I finally got, I think Todd gave it to me, a VHS tape, so I could watch VHSs. But I did not have actual cable TV until like 1991. No. No. I joined the Army in 1991. So I got in the Army in 93. So I didn't have cable until like 1994 is when I, I actually got cable to start watching it. So the Muppets were never on. So the Muppets were 74 through 78 or 79. So I didn't have, we had TV then, but it was only the 5 stations. What was it? ABC, CBS, NBC, Turner Broadcasting, I think was a thing then. Is that right? Did Turner come out? And HBO pops up at some point in there. But we didn't, we didn't. The Muppets were not on our watch list of things to watch. I missed most of it. Talking about your new tech, rabbit ear TV, baby. That was all new tech back in those days.
I wonder who has the IP for Muppets still. I wonder who that is. I'm sure one of the bigger companies does.
Who has what?
The IP for the Muppets.
Oh, I have no idea.
Can you imagine?
I watched it some, but not a lot. It wasn't really on our.
No, I was just thinking for an interesting off game for CNC. I don't know. That would be. I don't know.
Wolf Alone, you're about like me. I'll watch
Disney.
like The Walking Dead and stuff, but I don't. Yeah. If it wasn't for my kids and wife, I wouldn't be subscribing to anything. It's way too much work putting in a password. I can't be bothered to do that. It's way too much. Whenever they say reset the password, I'm like, I'm out. I'm just I'm done. And one of my kids will come by and reset it or something, but I just don't have the patience. And it's not like I'm anti-tech. I just literally don't have the patience. I have to really want to see something to actually put a password into something. And attending with a controller in the house is to turn on high tech. Yeah, I'm kidding. Yeah, I can't DM John. I'm wanting pizza, but I think we're having chicken.
Oh, there you go. Just pretend it's pizza. Yeah.
Get some pepperoni.
I just say, man, that's some great mozzarella cat. I love it. This is delicious. Good sauce. Should be like
Tubi and Pluto. I've heard of Tubo. I haven't heard of Pluto. Dakota's
Pluto's
all
great.
over
You
YouTube.
like Pluto, Steve?
Yeah, Dakota's all over YouTube. He subscribes and he says he gets everything, but I don't know what
Pluto's free.
Free is the price I like to pay.
And I use it a lot at night when I just want to find something to watch. It's like old TV, you know, and you find all the shows and shit and all the old movies. I mean, they got new movies too, but it's all free.
That I probably could do. Though I will say this: we've got Roku on one of the TVs. We got a Roku TV. Is that? Did I say that correctly? And
yeah,
those sons of bitches. You know, you're watching your TV show, blah 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 blah, and then when the advertisement comes on, they ratchet that sound up about 4 times as much as the television show was. That scared the living crap out of me the first time I watched it. And I about busted the TV. Yeah, the Rockford Files. My oldest brother loved the Rockford Files. Pluto was great. All those shows from the 70s that came out after I had to go to bed. I hear you, man. What was my bedtime in the 70s? I would have been 12, 13, 14, probably 8 o'clock, 7:30, 8 o'clock, something like that. I watched Three's Company. I was allowed to watch Three's Company. I remember watching that. YouTube, the Simple Liam says, Tubi has all the 70s, 80s Hammer films and more, highly underrated. Pluto's free cable. They have 24/7 Star Trek and classic. Oh, I may have to get this Pluto thing. I'll look into it tonight. What did we get? We found out Kathy, my wife's got a Walmart Plus. Is that a thing? And it comes with Paramount. So we found out we have Paramount the other day, which is nice. Tubi is just the opposite. The commercials are lower volume than the shows. That would be nice because that was very aggravating. But all of this aside, if you all have any questions about Troller Games, products we're making, crap we're working on, throw them here in the chat, and Chuck will throw them at me, and I will do my best to come up with some kind of
crap we're working on.
Crap we're working on. Dude, it is so much. Dakota, so here's today's mystery. So at like 3 o'clock, after I discovered the margin problem in the Armory book, fixing the Armory book, because the top margins are all dope, I told we got to get this 101 character ideas out. So I said, Dakota, here's the cover. I laid this out earlier. Chuck wrote the ad copy. It's all done. Just go print us a mock-up of it, and let's get that going so we can know what we're doing with the damn thing. It's 9x12. That's its trim size, and we need that to fold to make it and trim off at 5x5 by 8x5. Blah blah blah. It would not print it, no matter what we did, anything larger than 8 3/4 and 10 1/4. And we
it still fits.
It fit, but it would not print it at 9 by 12. Now, we had to get all new printer software uploaded last week. So all the console has been changed. Everything's different. So we're sorting through all of these little buttons until I just quit. You got to do this. I got to go work on the Armory book. And I don't know where we landed with it. He left a few minutes ago after the stream started. But that was today's tech joy. Will the latest version of the Castle Keeper's Guide have Walton's DMG tribute art, or will it have a new cover? No, it will have Walton's. Will definitely be on there. We're going to at least one more generation of those. And the Castle Keeper's Guide is now in hand. This is the next one. You can see the logo on there, and it's got Jason Walton's art on there. And Chuck, if you can, grab that picture. We just got the next piece by Jason Walton that's going to go on.
Yeah, I can do that real fast. I have.
It's the cover for the second of the World Builder books, World Builders Archive, and it is through the roof.
I've been posting them in all my groups and stuff I'm in today.
Yeah, dude, that cover when I saw it this morning, I thought I'm just going to cry. Kolchak, Hawaii, 5-0 Battlestar Galactica, the Jeffersons, all of the family, all this. That's
He's unreal, man.
Tech Hammer needed, yes, Tech Hammer was needed something fierce. I don't know what, I have no idea. It's going to be some little thing that we didn't check. You know how it is. It's one of those things. Will you be at Gen Con this year? I'm planning to make my first trip there in 25 and would love to meet you. Yes, absolutely. We'll be at Gen Con. I believe we've already got the booth secured, and we're trying to get it larger, that they got a whole different system than we're used to. But minimally, we'll be in our same 10 by 20 booth. Yeah, but we will be there. You can show the Exaltum art too if you want. Some of the angels.
Send me something over about that too, because I've been.
Yeah, he sent it to me. Jeremy, go ahead and send it to him. So the Exaltum art for Jason Bay's books finally coming in. The Celestials and whatnot. Chuck posted a beautiful art of this. Yeah, that's it, Johan. It's man, is that thing through the work. Would you consider selling bigger size prints? Yeah, we consider that frequently, and at some point. Now that the books are actually done and some of these other things are done, we can take a step back and figure out how best to do that. I would like to work with Noble Dwarf to set it up so we can do canvas prints. I think those look so very good. And he's a super nice guy over there, super professional and all that stuff. But they're a little bit more costly, so we just got to kind of look at.
I just remembered something. 500 canvas prints of the Hermit cover. I've got to send out. Yeah, that'll learn you on it. I know exactly that tone.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it doesn't stop. We're about to break through.
Oh yeah,
we are about to break through. Once this Reforged is done, and once that slipcase, and we're hoping it arrives later this week for the Hermit, is done. 2 of the biggest projects we got on the desk are done, which is except for the Beneath the Canopy Green, but that's mostly done. Yes, we will definitely be at Gary Con. We're going to be sending bag stuffers. We got a whole room dedicated to Castles and Crusades, an amazing adventure. So definitely swing by the booth. I'll be there in and out, but I'm also in 5 or 6 or 7 panels. I don't know. So definitely check that out. If you are showing covers, can you show the Plains book cover again? Yes, I'll absolutely do that, Statler. I'll get that to Chuck. But right now you can see the cover for Gary Gygax's Essential Facts and Things, previously titled The World Builder. And that thing, you can see it blown up on our official Twitter page. It is just amazing. I was floored when I opened that up this morning. And we got the next one, the concept over to him, and hopefully we'll hear back from him in the next day or so. And he will begin on Living Fantasy. I am currently looking for Codex of the Plains.
I don't know what these are, so I'm going to put them up and you'll have to explain.
Okay, I am putting Codex of the Plains. Oh my God, I forgot how cool that cover is. Oh my God. Codex of the Plains is in the chat there, Chuck. Do you want to throw that thing up?
I'll most certainly replace it in just a moment. Let's see. Yeah, that new cover is just, I can't get over it, man. That's
just blown me away. And I actually have begun working on Codex of the Plains again. Not a lot. Time has been precious getting Reforged done, but I'm making myself tinker with it every day. And I should have hopefully held done by midweek next week and can move on to the next plane. Thank you, Jubal Gordon. I am just floored by this thing. Very old school. It was something, I don't know what it was. Obviously I like any kind of art that has tons of things going on in it. And the books and the skull and the portal and the woman with the sword and the boots and everything. All of it is very, very cool. It's constantly occupying my eyes, which I love. Absolutely love it. But there's also something about, I thought that his choice of red hair on the adventurer there was really cool. It's not a blonde. It's not the black hair. It just stood out to me. I don't know why that stood out to me. It just really did.
Yeah, I get that.
Indeed. That horse in the background reminds me of a Pale Rider movie I just watched this weekend. Not exactly, but yep, it does, and it's very cool. What is that? A paint or a pinto? Is
I
it
can't.
a paint
No,
or
I
a
picture
pinto?
closer. It's a paint. It's a painted, I think, or paint. Yeah.
A paint is one's a breed and one's a color. Can't
Right.
remember. I can never remember which
Hey,
one.
Steph, what's the difference between paint and painted on horses?
A paint and a pinto.
Paint and a pinto. What? Is that? Yeah, what's a paint? English woman.
A paint is a breed, and a pinto is a color, or vice versa.
No, pinto's
Paint has three colors.
a paint has 3 colors versus a pinto that has
two.
2. They're both breeds. though,
One's
right?
a breed.
I don't know.
One's a breed and one's a color.
She raced horses for. Never mind. They used to own horses when we first married.
Hey, my wife, she grew up with horses, and there's a whole thing about horses. Yeah, I thought they were like horses, but there's not. There's a whole bunch that goes into it.
Yeah, it's crazy. Now she's gonna look it up.
Malaki says pinto is a breed, so paint must be the color. Clint Eastwood had a good looking color.
I think she's referring to paint as being a breed as well. So I don't know. It's an animal. How you like that? That's a good one.
There you go.
All right, I'm going to bring up this concept art. One's finished, I think. They might both. I guess they're both concept. But here we go. Guys can you can tell them what it's all about. Steve. I'll burn my dinner. All I know about horses is that they sometimes suck fence posts.
All right, so yeah.
Where did we find him?
So the one on the top is the cherubim. Now we're not going to do a whole lot of super religious stuff in Exaltum. A lot of it's going to be Arian stuff, but these are the ones that the artist could dive into immediately. The one on the top is the cherubim, and what is the other one? I'm not sure what that other one is. It is the Elohim. The Elohim. So very, very, very cool. Absolutely cool art you're going to see coming in the Exaltum book, and we got more of it coming in almost daily on the Infernum book. Super excited about that.
Hold on. Come over here. All right, the experts arrived. Here you go.
A paint is a specific breed, while a pinto is a general term for a horse with a certain coat pattern.
Okay, so the pinto is the color, the paint is the breed.
No, they look
That's
the
a
same.
pinto.
You know, they look the same, and they also got horses. There you go.
Pinto is a bean. Paint can also be a food.
I thought it was a bean too. I eat them all the time.
Oh yeah, Statler, it's absolutely crazy. So that was my take, Jeremy. I've seen so many horses in Arkansas when Kathy and I were driving around that we got into this long horse discussion.
It's all
and she
horses.
looked at all of it.
Welcome to our comedy show.
I would absolutely love a horse. I think that soon I'm going to buy a horse and ride it to Gen Con and Gary Con. And I'll get there when I get there, right? So,
If I didn't know you, I would believe you.
yeah.
But hold on. I know you, so therefore I believe you.
Dude,
There's the right step.
Dude, if I could get away with it, I would buy a horse
I know
and
you
ride
would.
to Gary Con.
You would do it in a heartbeat.
Absolutely, I would.
And then you would go to Tatum, New Mexico for a cheeseburger we never see again.
And never be seen again.
Never.
Davis has asked Troll Lord Games to officially buy. So I check land prices in New Mexico all the time. It drives my wife crazy. But he found a 10-acre spot that wasn't too bad. It's desert. And he wants Troll Lord Games to buy it and name it Barsoom. So that may be soon. And then we can just do like what is that, Burning Man? We could do a Troll Lord Games Burning Man out in the desert somewhere. That would actually be really cool. I like where this idea is going. I'm loving it.
A lot of the older riders would love that shit.
right. Bring your own water.
I can see Casey Christopherson showing up.
That's right.
Oh, I need
Dakota
to
ran
get.
into Casey this past weekend.
Well, he was supposed to. I was supposed to get a picture, but I told Casey, and I meant to remind Dakota, and guess what? I worked, so I forgot. So there's that. I wanted to find out about the Tsunami Con, but I hadn't had a chance to ask anybody anything.
Insurance. We wouldn't buy any insurance. No one would come to TrollCon in the deserts of New Mexico, and nothing could happen. I mean, what possibly could happen out in the deserts of New Mexico where someone would get hurt? Can't imagine any such scenario. New RPG Pentos and Paints.
So
Now you're talking.
Pentos and Paints. P&P. It's great. All right, so this next piece of art you got me to put up here, what is that? The CKG cover? I can't remember.
What is it? I think it's the Planescapes.
Okay. Oh, Planescape. Okay, it looked familiar to me, but I don't.
Area 51.
Oh no, you're absolutely right. It is Planescape. Yeah, because the tribute cover. Here it is.
I'm forever insurance.
There you go, folks.
Yes. No, it's not Planescapes. It's whatever. Codex of the Plains. That is the cover for the Codex of the Plains.
We both called it the old one.
Full wraparound on that. And that thing is just absolutely beautiful. Jason he just outdid him. He's just been outdoing himself. Every cover is better than the cover previous. I don't know what's happening. I'm loving every minute of it. It's just very, very cool. The Burning Man is gifting economy, fueling generous Steve. Free books for everyone. Woohoo! Oh, free
Hold on, easy. All right, John has a question. He asks, do you have any idea how many separate volumes the new CZ stuff will need to be released in completion? Good question.
So we are thinking I think minimally 4, probably 5, possibly 6. So I haven't gotten into all of the material that is on my literally.
I'm terrified that you're gonna get into the material and come back and say, well, we're gonna have 15 Kickstarters or some shit.
It's gonna be a lot. I gotta lay this 101 thing out, and then I gotta get some concept art for Peter Bradley for something Beneath the Canopy Green. And then I am diving feet first. Do you dive feet first? Head first? I don't know. I'm jumping feet first. I don't think you dive feet first. I think you jump. I don't know. Whatever. I'm going into the notes on Castle Zagging to figure that out. But I think that what we're looking at, we're looking at Yigsburg and the Eastmark as Volume 1, the Mouths of Madness, the Castle and the Environs as Volume 2. Levels 1 through, and there may be some crossover here, but levels 1 through 5 as Volume 3, then 10 Volume 4, and then 15 Volume 6 or 5, and then the extraneous. There's a bunch of appendices and stuff like that, but we got to kind of look at those appendices and see if they function as proper appendices. Because if you need them to play in level 1, we can't do it that way. So there's some stuff we got to put together on this. Mike is hard at work on level 2. He's waiting for the maps for level 3, which I should get to him very soon, hopefully tomorrow. But so work is being done on it long before we do the Kickstarter. I
have a question for the audience, from the audience, for myself.
Yes.
Has he mentioned anything at all about Victorious? Where's Vicky stand?
So Mike was working on Victorious, kind of bringing it more into line with the Siege Engine when I called him and asked him to put that on hold.
Oh, okay.
And work on Castle Zagging. So
you answered my question. That's what I figured.
Yeah. What we may end up doing is getting someone like Jeremy to get into Victorious and kind of.
Oh, that's a brilliant idea.
Bring it back into line with Siege Engine. Jeremy gets a project today.
He does. He's good though. He's good. So. Problems.
Yeah, that Starship Warden. Who knows what the future holds? That IP is in turmoil, and there's still some. I would love to do some stuff with Starship Warden. There's some things that Jim and I had talked about doing, and of course, it's very sad that Jim's passed away. He's a very good friend of mine, and I am glad that we were able to get that out, before he passed away. But Starship Warden, for those of you who don't know, go check it out. I'm sure it's on Wikipedia or somewhere, wherever the hell it is one of the coolest science fiction, science fantasy settings, in my opinion, there's ever been created. It's basically this ginormous starship that is dead in the water out in space. And 100 years later or whatever, things have changed. So you've got fantasy creatures, robot creatures, you got tech, all kinds of stuff in this ruined starship. It's very cool.
I had a friend send over some pics.
Cool.
I need to find those. He's running Starship Warden in the new Amazing Adventures. He's having a blast for his group.
Oh, that's very cool. Yeah. It's just, I like the concept of it. You know, we always, there's always the derelict spaceship, you know, aliens or what have you, blah, blah, blah. Or a colony on a planet, blah, blah, blah. But this was just cool because he made this starship large enough to contain what he wanted to.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think it's got, I can't remember how many levels, 18 levels, 14, 17. And then a bunch of sub decks.
I want to say
like
14, but I can't.
14,
Yeah, there's a bunch,
man.
There's all kinds of crazy shit on that thing.
Yeah, it's just very cool. The radiation is creating, you know, monstrosities in both plant and animal life. It's just cool. I love that type of stuff. It reeks of the old heavy metal magazines that came out in the 70s and 80s. Which if you haven't, if you ever get a chance to check them out, and they just rebuilt this IP. It's on Kickstarter. I'm like 20% certain. It definitely was. I don't know if it still is. But the old heavy metals were very. I don't know how to. I hate that word avant-garde. I absolutely hate that crap. But it was new concepts. What today aren't that new. Obviously, 50 years later or 40 years later. But back in the 70s, these concepts were new, and science fantasy was kind of merging, and the way people would live and the way society was going to develop with overpopulation. Of course, that's not a problem now, but all kinds of stuff. The heavy metals are just really cool, kind of, you know, looking into edgy and subversive. We'll go with Jeremy's description of it. The arts gets a lot of adult material in there, don't get me wrong. So if you check them out, you know, go in with eyes wide open, but
it's a generation setting, and you can't. That's one of my favorites, like Foundation. You know, oh my god, I love not Foundation. That's the wrong one.
Yeah, heavy metal. I can't say enough about those because I remember reading them as a kid, and it just made me. This is what the world's going to look like. This is very cool. You know, just different concepts of where we came from and where we were going.
I want to ask you a question. Did you get what I was talking about the other day in chat? That link I sent you, what that was? Did you look at that?
Which one? The heavy metal Kickstarter?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's cool.
Did you dip into that? Did you dip into that?
Not yet. So heavy metal.
I'm over here eyeing it going.
Heavy metal went kind of by the wayside in the late 80s, early 90s, and then it got picked up by somebody. Someone took it over, and it just became a kind of focused on the adult content and not on the new kind of edgy stuff that had been there before. And I stopped reading it. It just didn't capture, you know, the imagination like it had before. So I'm guardedly optimistic about the new heavy metal. I hope that they don't lean heavy into the adult, and if they just focus on good stories and good art, you know, if it's fine that the art has adult content, that's no problem with that. But the stories need to be cool. We just, you know, there's magazines with, I guess there's still magazines with adult content if you want to go that direction. But so I'm guardedly optimistic about that. But yeah, A Wolf Alone, I was pretty fortunate. My folks, they didn't care. We played Dungeons and Dragons, and we would get those things from those little hate me, you're going to die, whatever. I can't ever remember those Jiminy Cricket. I don't know, whatever that guy that was making those little cartoons about hatred of D&D. And we bought Heavy Metal Epic magazine. My folks didn't care. They just, whatever. What are these dumbasses doing?
That's where my mom was too. My house was the safe haven for like satanic panic stuff and all that. They all came to my house and hung out. So.
Yeah, I gotta admit that my father, who grew up in southern Arkansas, and was a bit of a tough in his day, and he had all the old, you know, the dive bars and all that business. Ended up in the army and blah blah blah. He never once, on all the weird music that me and my siblings listened to, he never once commented on any of it. It's just, he never had a comment about it. He's like, whatever. You know, it was just it was pretty cool.
Wheelhouse, he didn't care. So.
He didn't give a shit.
Yeah, we'll put it like that. He didn't give a shit. Right, exactly.
He didn't give it. I got in a lot of fights as a kid, so he thought that was really funny. And that was so I think that, you know, as long as I was whatever, he was like, whatever.
I see. I can see pictures of you fighting with your Tarzan jacket on. It's not pretty. We got a few questions here coming in.
I'll tell you, this is one of my favorite stories. I vaguely remember this happening. I'm like 5 or 6. I'm at Fort Leavenworth. I can remember the gravel pit. But I was going through the gravel pit, and these 3, I want to say it was 3, might have been 4 kids, jumped me. And first they started throwing rocks at me. And they started pelting me with rocks. And then they just beat the living crap out of me. And I came home. This is going to sound terrible to younger people, but Chuck's going to understand this. Some of you older people understand this. I came home, and I was crying. And my dad said, it's fine that you got your ass kicked, but don't ever come home crying ever again. Unless you've picked up a board, a stick with nails in it, a chain, or something, and hit someone somewhere along the line. I thought, okay, I can do that. And then I started, after that, I just started getting fights all the time. It just became a pastime.
I don't think you heard the whole message. Anyway.
Yeah, I missed some of it. And I got my ass kicked many times. So it was,
I'm learning a lot now. Things are coming together for me. I understand. Okay. Let's see. Jubal Gordon has a question for people with existing products. Is it going to be set up to work with older printings, or will it be better just to get the whole new Castle package to backer kit campaign?
So you're going to be fine keeping what you have. You'll be fine keeping what you have. There's going to be a little bit of confusion in the spell department is about it, and a little in the monster department, but that's not going to affect players. That the CK's got to deal with that. But even then, it's a tiny bit that's going to have changed. So you don't really have to. Obviously, we welcome anyone hopping over to the 10th printing and the 6th of the Monster Treasure. I can't remember, but yeah, absolutely. You should be able to keep exactly what you have. And I'm not going to publicly announce this yet, but we are going to have what Chuck is telling me to quit calling this an amnesty day, where we're going to do like 24 hours free PDFs on the website. So if you have a PDF, or if you need to replace a PDF, you can just go to the website and replace it. That'll probably be in January. We tried to pull it off in December, but chaos ensued. And WooCommerce is not our friend. So look to that in the future for those of you who want to swap out PDFs.
King Kothar has a point there. You're actively announcing it to the public.
Oh, did I do that accidentally? Damn it.
It's really just a theory. It's just a thought.
It's just a theory.
Sometime between now and 2028, we're going to let it happen. All right. Let's see here.
There's a big question in there.
Yeah, let's see. As someone who's played since 78 when there was never mapped combats on the map, through the detailed combat movement rules in 3.0, 3.5 Pathfinder, if you will, what do you think is the best way to manage tactical movement in Cataclysm Straits combat, map or no map? I've got an answer for you if you want.
I absolutely love at the table. I love Fog of War. I absolutely love it. And you can't have Fog of War if you're using a map and miniatures. If you use map and miniatures, everybody knows exactly where everybody is and what's going on. So and occasionally, once in a blue moon, I'll break out miniatures, and once even in a bluer moon, I'll break out a battle map. But it's rare. I usually just run it like we did back in the 70s. I describe stuff, and I'm 100% fine with player A hearing one thing and player C hearing another thing, and them acting on their lack of understanding. I think that's cool. It causes a little bit of rancor once in a while, but once players realize what's going on, I've never really had a complaint. So yeah, I guess they call it theater of the mind now, but I infinitely prefer the chaos that is engendered because of that. Because as we all know, when you get into any kind of whirligig of whatever it is, a car accident, whatever it is, your brain is kind of functioning on stuff, but you don't know what the hell is going on. So I infinitely prefer that. And I started back in the 70s too. So yeah, I've kind of done all of these forms. 3rd edition, I never did play 5th edition, and I haven't played 5th, but 3rd edition, which is a fine game, it took it too far with for me, with the tactics, with the facing and whatever.
So let me tag on your coattails that a minute, Steve. So if you're running a VTT, and you want to use maps, I use maps at home here for one of my games, and we basically use Fog of War and just uncover what they see. But if you're doing something like Steve's talking about the table or whatever, honestly, it took me a long time to get to this point, but I don't use tactical movement anymore. It just slows things down. If someone says, I want to move over here, I want to move over there, sure or no. Or you just almost get there. You make the decision and move on. Because I feel like it just weighs down the game as far as time goes. Nothing pisses me worse than having 30 minutes of discussion about where someone's moving.
Yeah, no, it's exhausting, and it breaks all the combat stuff.
Yeah.
Willie, absolutely. Willie says never start a fight, but once you're in one fight, like the third monkey on the ramp of Noah's Ark, starting a raid. Yep, absolutely. That's the way you do it. Let's see. Takedo says I use Fog of War with maps and minis. I keep it covered and reveal it. Dude, that is really cool. If you can do that, that is very, very cool. I don't have the patience, kind of, but constantly come around the stream. Plus, I'm kind of short, so I can't reach over the screen.
At the house here, cool. If I'm not using Fantasy Grounds or whatever, Foundry or whatever, for that one group, I just have an area map, so I don't do any tactical typically at all because it, like you said, it just drags it down.
It gets kind of.
That's
long.
my opinion. Jubal had a question when he was asking about the older material with the newer material. He was actually talking about the Castle Zaga campaign coming up in February, matching up old and new. If there's going to be.
Oh no, you're good. You're good. We're not changing anything. So, what you'll see is new maps for sure. A different layout for sure. But no, you're golden.
But there will be some OGL stuff changes in there, obviously because of the game, right?
Yeah, but there's not a whole lot of that in it to begin with.
Oh, okay. So, I didn't know about spells and stuff.
There'll be the spell name changes, stuff like that. But beyond that, it'll be golden.
Yeah.
NPCs are probably going to be the hardest to change because there's a lot of info in them. I think, I should recant. I'll restate it a little bit, and Jeremy can correct me if I'm wrong. I think quite a few of the magic items got new name changes. Probably about 20% would be my guess off the cuff.
Yeah, and to tag on with what we were talking about just a second ago, someone in chat said something about CNC being geared toward Theater of the Mind. Honestly, CNC is geared toward however you want to play it. That's the beauty of it. You've got to realize you can not do tactical movement. It won't break the game. That's the beauty of it. It doesn't have a lot of structure to keep you from breaking stuff. Anyway, that's my soapbox.
Jeremy's saying almost all of the magic items were changed. The name changed. Okay.
Very good. Let's see. Torlock72 asks, I'm working on designing a zine. How many pages would be a good size? What kind of stuff would you think people would like to see when it comes to in the zine? Like, I guess he's probably doing it for gaming. I'm sure. That's Frank.
I think 4 pages is good. That gives you a nice. If you wanted to do it like 8.5 by 11, and you wanted to actually print it, you would actually have a nice fold in it, so that you've got 4 pages for people to kind of read, and then you don't have to actually bind it. You don't have to glue it, or saddle stitch it, or any of that stuff, and you've got kind of like a little newspaper that can be read. I think 4 is pretty cool. I think that honestly, and this is something that I struggle with believing people do. I've had so many people comment to me about the State of the Troll that went out last Tuesday that I was a little stunned at how many people actually read it. So I think people read this type of information more than I think they do. So I think that 1 or 2 kind of smaller pieces, but 1 long, not an advice column, but how do you do miniatures and maps, and discuss it at length so that you cover all your bases. I think 1 or 2 really good long articles, and then 3 or 4 smaller articles with some art sprinkled in there would be good. And I think really because there's so many new players that for a zine, if I was doing it, what I would angle for is just not talking about this generational stuff where we're all old school gamers or 5th edition gamers or whatever we are, just what I do in this circumstance. So if this happens at the table, this is what I do. And don't couch it in terms of, back in my day or whatever, back in my day, that type of stuff. Because young people don't want to hear that crap. When I was young and some old dude started going, well, back in my day, I was like, I'm done. I'm out of this conversation. I don't really care what you did back in your day, because it's not your day anymore. That's how I was when I was 19. So I suspect that young people my kids are that way. When I started yammering on some stupid crap, they're like, whatever. We got the internet. We are on a rotary phone. So,
question. I'm sorry. Got a question about Aird. How is the winter solstice celebrated in Aird from McGlut? I think it's actually.
So winter is actually not it's a bad season because it's got bad memories, because it's not just, cold. It's not just snow and blizzard. It is Unklar's reign for 1,000 years. And so Unklar's the boogeyman. Winter is his device. Jack Frost is evil. All of these things to the Airdians. So the whatever winter, and it's going to be different from society, from culture, from country to country to country. But it's not celebrated as anything like the center of or whatever. It's really not celebrated. They don't.
And hopefully next year we will see a nice. We've been talking about doing some sort of like a canvas Airdian calendar. Remember we were talking about that earlier in the year.
Yeah, we've got a cool calendar out now. I'm trying to think that somewhere I've got all of the holidays.
Somewhere you have a list in there. I know you do.
The major holidays, I should say, but
Yeah, I've seen it.
I haven't looked at Aird in like 2 months. It's really sad.
I've got another question for you about Aird too after this.
Yeah, fire away while I'm looking up.
This is
calendar.
one that I'm asking you, and then I'm going to go to ask Davis because I know Davis isn't watching. Okay. How does Unklar and Inzaya feel about each other? They get along?
Oh, yeah, I can easily answer that.
What's your opinion of it?
So, Letter is the festival celebrated on the 15th of Winterdark by most of the Ithram. And that's kind of to celebrate, we're still alive type thing. So, Unklar knew of Inzaya, but she had no idea that he even existed. She was in her slumbers. He discovered her. He tries to do whatever it is magically to force her to do anything, and there was no concept of movement. So, if to kind of do the hierarchy of gods, think of your first level character, and then think of say Zeus, or in Airdian terms, Corthane. So there's no way this first level character can do anything to Zeus or to Corthane. It's just not. Now ratchet that up. Corthane is the first level character to the Allfather or to Inzaya. So when Unklar thought he was going to move Inzaya, there's
right.
She's like,
so there was they never had any dialogue really about it. She just kind of ignored him.
Yeah, she didn't even know he existed. She has no concept he even ever existed.
Oh, that's right. She's separate, isn't she? Like a bubble or whatever. She doesn't realize.
Well, if you think in those days, the world was flat. Aird was flat. And Inzaya is a half world, like a cup. Think of a saucer and a cup inverted. So you got this, and then the cup. I wish I had a cup with me. It would
got you.
be upside down. Yeah, upside down. And she dwells here. When Unklar discovered that he can't force her to do anything, he had the clever idea to take the world and wrap it around Inza, and that's why she is trapped.
I just didn't know if they'd ever had any kind of dialogue where she was angry at him for it or something.
No. She doesn't even know. She doesn't even know he exists.
Interesting. Okay, well that was my question. I know we're about ready to get out of here. I got one more I want to throw at you. I saw in the chat there. Maybe I'm wrong. I thought there was more. I guess not. Oh yeah, from Bicky Mall. What is your favorite class in Amazing Adventures, Steve?
In Amazing Adventures, probably going to be, is it the Pugilist class?
Yeah.
It's probably the Pugilist because I just like violence, and it's generally what
that checks out.
Yeah, generally the fighter in Amazing Adventures and the Pugilist.
I like,
and what I like about the Pugilist is it's just brute. It's just brute, which is cool.
That's true.
Of course, you can have a gun in Amazing Adventures, which is kind of a benefit.
Can we get any CZ level 2 teasers before it comes out?
Oh yeah, you'll very shortly. Maybe this week, maybe as early as this week, probably early next week. Everything kind of depends on this armory that I'm working on. Today was supposed to be an art day. That was today's set aside to do art. Castle Zagging. Art for the Beneath the Canopy Green, and it did not turn into.
Oh, we missed the memo. It's actually Broken Days. What it is? It's Broken Days.
Yeah, right.
Broken.
We will certainly have clean VTT maps. I'm not sure what that means, DM John, but Chuck will be in charge of that, so I'm sure we'll have.
Yeah, I don't know who's going to do the maps. I'm assuming we're going to try and get someone like Bill or somebody. They'll be nice.
I believe Bill is going to do them.
Yeah, they'll be nice.
But they're extensive. They are. They are.
I'm getting ready to. I thought I'd have it done for Christmas, but I just can't get all the work done. I really can't. We can't get our work done around here. It's just so much. But I swear by the gods that is all that is holy, by the end of January, there will be BTT maps for sale in the store. There will be maps on there and stuff. My goodness. So much.
But yeah, we will definitely start putting teasers out. I've got
That'd be great. I'd like to see one.
Be
I'm
great.
very unfamiliar with it. Hush, Jeremy. I'm very unfamiliar with it.
But we are going to start. I'm not sure when. Soon. I got to get with Luke, and Luke is extremely busy. But we're going to start doing a regular Castle Zaggig Twitch where we're just talking about Castle Zaggig. It is a monstrous undertaking. Maybe get Mike in here, Jeff Talanian if he wants to join us, stuff like that. Question. I know the simplicity of CNC is what makes it so flexible, but one thing I have ran into many times is monsters not having ability scores from called shot, etc., spells, bluff, debuff abilities, etc. Any suggestion on how to resolve that? So we very purposely did not give monsters those abilities, and they have their own abilities that can do all kinds of damage. Now NPCs is a little bit different. Obviously, with NPCs, you should feel free to give whatever character attributes, class attributes to those NPCs that you want to. But it was very purposeful because the monsters have their own, retinue of abilities to do, to give them things like called shot would make it from our perspective, just make it a little bit tougher. But you're the CK. I mean, if you want this, I don't know, a hippogriff to be flying down and be able to do a called shot, by all means do it. I mean, there's no reason. It's a combat maneuver, right? And it's just written up as a combat maneuver. I don't think in any of the classes in the player's handbook that called shot is an ability. Maybe the assassin. I'm not sure.
What's that for? I'm playing a bunch of. What are you asking?
Called shot. I don't think any classes have that as an ability unless the assassin does. But I think theirs is like a mark.
No, they wait. Mark. Yes.
Yeah.
So no, there's not. I was talking about ABP. There's one rattling around in my head, but I still don't think that's it though. I think that's in primes. So yeah.
Yeah, and for attributes, well, he listed some abilities, Jeremy, but for attributes, they're listed as mental or physical primes. They don't get any bonuses to hit for being strong, or like the ogre doesn't get any. That's factored into their hit dice. The ogre's 4 hit dice, I think. So whatever strength he has is factored into into his ogreness, his level or hit dice or however we've got it working. So they don't have that.
Right. And to use the ogre as an example, let's just say you give him a +1 to hit for some other reason. Okay. He's carrying around a +3 bonus, which equates to an 18. So,
Yeah. If you want to go that route, obviously. And if you want the ogre to do a call shot too, obviously. But the attributes are really there so that you know what their primes and secondaries are in their saving throws. And if that creature needs to, say, swim the river, and it's got a mental as its prime, then it's going to have a tougher time swimming the river because it doesn't have dexterity as its prime. Right. So that's why we chose the mental and physical area.
And typically, Donkey, whenever I'm running monsters, I'll look at that. If it's got primes in physical, then I'll typically, in my mind, know that creature's going to be more physically stronger and able to do things better with his physical traits. Whenever I'm trying to decide about what kind of role I want to make for him, right? I'll kind of throw that in the back of my mind, If it's a giant and you're trying to open a door or whatever, well, you know what I mean? Some creatures have both.
So what I mean is if I use Dehance ability and do 1d4 + 1 strength damage, how would that affect monsters? So you're saying if a character swings and does 1d4, then if you're doing it's the monster, the NPC, the creature as 1d4 + 1, then I would personally treat that as actual damage. If you're making that their ability or their attack, then it's actual damage and not bludgeon damage or anything.
Oh, he's saying I see Dehance. It brings the strength down.
Yes, like a monk. A monk does real damage when they hit, when they punch, whatever. It's not bludgeon damage. So I would definitely do that. The spell that reduces strength. So what I mean is if I use Dehance ability, reduce strength.
Yeah, so basically he casts the spell and it reduces the 1d4 plus.
Oh, on the monster itself. Okay, there you go. All right, got it. So if you cast reduce strength on a monster, what would you do? So the first thing I would do is just give it a minus, whatever it is, on its saving throws. I think that's the easiest way to make that kind of leap into whatever you're going to do. It's one of the few spells that isn't, it's specifically for other creatures with strength. and it doesn't really need that 1d4 plus 1. And what it really needs to have reduced from prime to a secondary, and that's definitely what I would do in that case. Drop it from, and if it's already a secondary, just give them a minus whatever on there. That's how I would play it.
Yeah, exactly.
That just minus on damage, probably.
Right, and like we were talking about, with like the way I do it is, if it's a +4 normally, right? His hit dice is 4. That's right around an 18 or 20 strength in my head for bonuses to hit and bonus to damage, right? Well, he's just rolled that. He's just cast that spell. Say he rolls a 3. Well, I'm gonna ratchet that down in my head, so I'm gonna take off some minuses on these rolls for that, right? Just kind of little quick math kind of thing.
Yeah,
Thanks,
just make the minus, and just make the minus. It's minus to hit or minus damage. That's the easiest way to do it. That's funny you should mention that, Donkey, because we've run into that at the table. It's well over a year ago, but I remember us having this conversation with the spell as the game is written. And that's part of that, what Jeremy discovered when he was going back through these spells, is so many of them had 3rd edition stuff still kind of lingering with them. And that was an issue for sure. I think that's it for the day. It is 5:30. I'm actually not going to have pizza tonight.
You're not having pizza? I thought you said already you were having chicken, right?
I'm having chicken.
Yeah, that's good. It's good.
But I hope that helped, Donkey. I can't remember what the spell is called now. I'm curious if we rewrote it to get rid of that 1d4 in the 10th printing. Jeremy, do you remember offhand? What is the spell? It's enhance attribute. So the opposite of enhance.
It would be dehance. That's what he called it, dehance ability.
Dehance, but I think that
I don't know what y'all called it. I still haven't gotten in there.
It's still in there, Jeremy. Okay, yeah, we should have caught that. I should have caught that. Yeah, the spell raises prime. No, it's okay. So in the new printing, it's the spell raises prime attribute. Oh no, yeah, you're right. But only raises non-prime attributes by 1d2 plus 1. That's interesting. That's very cool. And leave it to a player to cast it on a monster. Absolutely, leave it to a player to cast it on a monster.
Of course.
Clearly, the spell was written to cast on your comrades, but a player's like, to hell with this. I'm casting it on a monster. That's awesome.
No, that's smart. That's really smart, actually.
All right. We're gonna ratchet this down. Chuck will be on tomorrow, I think, and then we'll be back Thursday. Blah 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 blah, and look for a continuing flow of news. The dice are back on the store, very limited. We had 50 sets or 42 sets or 48 sets. I don't know. Dice are back on the store. Please sign up for the Castle Zaggy Kickstarter backer. No, it's not bad. It's not Kickstarter backer kit. And we got more stuff happening later this week, so keep your eyes on the trove.
Oh, that's probably the old one. I probably need to change that. We moved the backer kit, didn't we? But that's wrong.
Okay, Jeremy.
It's wrong. Great. I need to change that link. Okay, fair enough.
All right. Thank you all for showing up. We sure appreciate it. Love this conversation. This is a great part of the day on a Tuesday and a nice way to wind it down.
All right. Thanks, everybody. I'll see you guys in the morning. And again, the PDFs will come out at some point once I get out from underneath this rock. So, rolls on.